Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Gabriel890, back again with another video. Alright, so today, November 10th, marks a 1-year anniversary for the Xbox Series X/Series S. So I thought I would do a video on it. I was fortunate to get my hands on an Xbox Series X day of release, and so I thought I would talk about the pros and cons, what I've loved about it, and what I haven't loved about it. There's not a whole lot. And then some of my favorite games that I've enjoyed playing over the Xbox One/Series X generations. So yeah, anyways. Here it is. The fridge. The big black cube. I actually like the design. Yeah, it's very simplistic. But I just think it looks sleek. Got the giant vent on top with the huge fan. You can set it down on its side. But yeah, overall, I think it's a solid console in weight, but also in design and features. One thing I do like is I feel like Xbox consoles, for the most part, have always been pretty quiet, especially the Xbox One and this generation. So, stories. So, Sony, when they had the PS5 go up for pre-order, it was kind of at random and actually a day early. And so we all know how that went. Not very well. So then Microsoft was like, hey, listen, we're going to tell you the exact day and time that it's going up. So you will know, to be ready. And, we'll give those scalpers a good head start. So anyways, I was like, okay, I'm just going to put my eggs all in one basket. It potentially could have been the wrong choice. But I decided I'm just going to go for Best Buy. Rather than having a ton of different windows open to all the websites that are selling it, I'm just going to go for Best Buy, and hopefully it will all work out. And so I believe that it went up for pre-order at 10 a.m. Or maybe it was, I think it was 10 a.m. Pacific time. And so that was 11 a.m. my time. And as soon as it hit 11, hit refresh. And it still just said, coming soon. Refresh. Coming soon. Okay, it is now 11:02. Every second counts, so I, in a panic, hurried over to Walmart, and it was there, and it was up for sale. Put it in my cart, got all logged in, and I was like, oh my gosh, is it really just this easy? And as soon as I clicked place order, of course, it was not that easy, and it said, error, this item is out of stock. And so I go back to the page, refresh it, and it says it's still in stock, so I add to cart, try a couple more times, but then I just keep getting the same error. And so I go back to Best Buy, and it just still says coming soon. And so I'm like, well, there we go. That's why you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because that basket didn't even open for pre-orders. So I just was like, you know what, forget it, whatever, I'm not going to stress about it. And then it was about 25 minutes later that all of a sudden people were saying, hey, it's up on Best Buy. So I go to Best Buy, and sure enough, pre-orders are open. So I'm sitting there trying to get it in my cart, and I just keep getting error messages. The website's crashing. So after like a good 20 minutes of trying that, I just got so frustrated, and I'm like, just forget it. Like, I'm just not meant to have one. There's so many times that I can take seeing the stupid, error or out of stock messages. So I just gave up again. And about 5 minutes later, then it was out of stock. Well, then it was crazy. Like, I swear it was about like 30, 40 minutes later. People were like, hey, it's back up again at Best Buy. And so I went over to the website and just tried again, added to cart. And I did it about twice, got the error, and then the third time it went through. And I was able to check out, and it said, you'll be able to pick it up, day of release, November 10th. And I was kind of waiting for the whole cancellation email or something, but nope, it didn't come. And I was able to go pick it up, and the rest is history. So yeah, that's my Xbox One Series X. You know, there's a lot of people out there still trying to get these consoles, and it's really annoying. But I feel like if you're persistent, you know, and obviously it's luck, really, you know, that I just happened to get through. And actually, I've had more success using the app on my phone than I did on the computer. So that's a tip I would give, that for whatever reason, the app seems to get through better. I don't know why. At least with Best Buy. Okay, anyway, sorry about the rambling story. Um, you know, there's really not too much that can be said that already hasn't been said about it. I will say, like, the best part about the Xbox Series X is really it's just a better Xbox One. Like, way better. In terms of speed, you know? Like, it's still got the same interface and, like, everything's in the same location, which wasn't as exciting when I got it, but it was nice because it wasn't just this whole figuring out where things are. I already knew. And then it obviously made it very easy to just plug in my external hard drive and boom, ready to go. There's all my games I had on it, and sync the cloud, and like I was out the gate in like 10 minutes. And the load times are incredible. That's just one of those convenience of life things that it's not a huge thing, because it's funny when they were doing all the comparison videos and they would say, hey, you know, this game on the Xbox One X loads in 47 seconds. Well, this one on the Series X loads in 15 seconds. It's like, that's really 30 seconds. Like, it's really not that huge of a difference, but it is nice when the game loads almost instantly. Especially some of these bigger games. It really does make a difference. I've had a few bugs and glitches here and there. Once in a while, the console will just get laggy or have some weird picture issues going on. But it's only been a handful of times throughout the entire year. And that's just to be expected. So luckily I haven't had any major issues. You know, nothing that a restart hasn't fixed. So yeah, that's the pros and cons of the Series X. Phenomenal Xbox for sure. Okay, and now we're done with the console, okay? Let's get on to my top 10 favorite exclusives. Now, some of these are on PC, others eventually made their way to other consoles, but at one point, they were an Xbox exclusive. Unfortunately, Microsoft didn't focus on that as much as PlayStation, so obviously there's not a huge list to choose from. All right, starting us off, a game that I definitely love and hate. That is Cuphead. I love the art style. I love the music. The creativity, like the bosses, the hand-drawn art is incredible. It's also really tough and just a frustrating game at times. It actually made me quit at one point. I was like, I am done. I don't care. I'm not finishing the game. I am done. And it was actually with, is it Miss Honeycomb? It's the bee. I don't know why, but I couldn't get to the third phase. And so I quit and just gave up. And I think I didn't play for about 5 days. And then I popped it back in and I beat her in like 20 minutes. It was definitely like a number of tries, but it was like, what the heck? Sometimes you just gotta step away. But when I finally did beat it, and I beat the devil, I understand why gamers do it. You know, the whole Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro games. Like, I get it. Like, you do feel good when you finally conquer a very tough game. And obviously this isn't the same level as those games, but, you know, it is not an easy game by any means. Alright, now this was actually the reason I bought an Xbox One. I want to say that they finally put this out on PC, or they're going to. I could be wrong. But Sunset Overdrive. The art style intrigued me, and it just looked like this awesome, cool, colorful next gen world, you know. And it was a surprise that it was by Insomniac. So yeah, anyways, this was really what made me decide to get an Xbox One, and overall, it didn't disappoint. It's a pretty fun open world crazy game. The humor, I love that. They definitely got that down right. And then this came with my Xbox One. If you have an Xbox, you're gonna be playing Halo, of course. Master Chief Collection, uh, beautifully done. Now I know on launch things were not too pretty, but yeah, it's a must have. All right, and then of course Halo 5 Guardians. I don't know why this seems to be a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to whether people like it or not. I didn't love it, but I did like it a lot. I think it's a good game and I enjoyed it. Not my favorite Halo game, but a worthy sequel to the series for sure. And the graphics were definitely impressive. And that was one that, like, when they came out with the Xbox One X and the Series X, like, that they did an overhaul, and a very big one at that. And so I think that's one thing I do love with connecting all these generations is that they take the time to go back to these games and, you know, update them, and they'll have a better frame rate, a higher resolution, they'll load faster. Like, it's cool to have some of your favorite games play even better. Okay, up next we got Inside, which was an exclusive for 3 months. My understanding was it was just a full-on exclusive, so I bought it day one because I loved Limbo, and it's, you know, the same studio, and I wasn't disappointed by any means. Inside is a phenomenal game, and if you played Limbo and like Limbo, you know, hopefully you played Inside. But yeah, just very creepy, atmospheric games that just make you scratch your head. And I love it too because they asked, like, the story team behind Inside, like, okay, well, what did the ending mean? And they wouldn't say. They just said, you know, whatever you decide the ending is, that's it. Okay, now here's a game that we will probably never see a sequel to, thanks to the two studios behind it, Microsoft and Crytek, battling it out for rights. But that doesn't detract that it is still a great game. Rise, Son of Rome. This was a launch title for the Xbox One. And this is another one that they have gone through and updated, and it looks even better. You know, it's a little repetitive, but it's a cool story, and the visuals still hold up for sure, being a Crytek game. And there were many elements that I enjoyed with this one. Alright, then we got Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was a year exclusive for the Xbox One. And I remember I thought it was funny because it was on the Xbox One, and then after a year it came out on PlayStation. And so then Sony was like, hey, look, we got Rise of the Tomb Raider, but, you know, it plays even better on the PS4 Pro. And so then when Xbox, a year later, came out with the Xbox One X, they said, hey, look, this plays even better on the Xbox One X than it does on the PS4 Pro. So, yeah, anyways, obviously, like, taken from the vein of the Uncharted series, with their own spins, and I like the reboot. All three games have been phenomenal, in my opinion. Okay, then we got Gears of War 4, which was a solid game I picked up day one, and thoroughly enjoyed. And, of course, they went back and kind of updated it and made it look even better. And then a definite worthy sequel, Gears 5. I wasn't sure, you know, what was going to happen with this one, and I was a little hesitant. I actually got Xbox Game Pass, and so I just played it on there, and then I picked up this copy for $5 on Black Friday last year, and so I just decided to leave it sealed because it will forever be on Xbox Game Pass. But yeah, anyways, this one was a great game. I thought the story was really cool, and the fact that it was kind of an open world, like you could just continue along with the campaign trail, but there was also like side missions you could go off and explore and do. So I thought that was a cool idea. And then the Hivebusters DLC was actually really cool as well. Okay, then we got Ori and the Blind Forest. Just the art style alone made me look twice at this one. And when I picked it up, I definitely enjoyed it. It's actually a deceptively challenging game, in my opinion, for a Metroidvania slash platformer. Like, it's very precise. But anyways, beautiful music, beautiful art style, beautiful story. I definitely enjoyed this one for sure. And I enjoyed it so much that I had to get the collector's edition of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, the sequel. And I can easily say for me that this one is even better. I felt like the controls somehow got even tighter, and they just were able to balance out the whole game. And the story and the music were just absolutely incredible. And yeah, I love this game. Just talking about it makes me like want to start playing them again. Probably will. All right, so there's the top 10 exclusives at one point or another for the Xbox One slash Series X. But one that I have to talk about that I picked up day one, because of course you got to have a new game to play with your new system, was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And this did not disappoint. And it was just a great game. And graphically, um, you know, they're able to tweak it a bit over Odyssey and Origins. But I do have to give a shout out to the water. Like the water and the lighting. Like it's incredible what they're able to do nowadays. And I think that's the thing, because we keep thinking, or at least I do, oh, it's just like all about getting the graphics looking more and more like CGI. And it's like, they are getting to that point. But at the same time, it's more about, the lighting and the ray tracing and, all the effects that just really add to the game and make it that much more immersive. So I feel like they really nailed that with Valhalla. Um, the story, it was interesting, for sure, and it's pretty cool if you know Norse mythology. But the thing I liked best about this one is just they had so many more locations to explore. So it wasn't just making this bigger map, it was just adding more in it. So there'd be all these tombs or caves that kind of had little side stories or side missions to them that just really made it pretty cool to sometimes go off the beaten path rather than continue playing the campaign missions. But yeah, anyways, that's the Xbox Series X. Sorry if I rambled on a bit, but there's a lot to talk about because it's a great system. And I'm definitely looking forward to Halo Infinite, which comes out very soon. And a shout out to Forza Horizon 5 that just dropped last week, actually, but this week on Game Pass, so I was able to install that and play that. And I have to say, like, along with what I was saying about Assassin's Creed with the lighting and the weather effects and all that, like, Forza like takes it to the next level. Like, there is no denying that that is a beautiful game and very cool and very fun to play. So yeah, anyways, tell me, what are some of your favorite Xbox games, exclusive or not? Were you able to pick up a Series X, or are you planning on picking up one? Anyways, thanks for sticking around, and as always, have a good one.